How's it going, everybody? Welcome to today's Stick Mobility class. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today. Hope everybody's having a good day here. So for today's class, we're going to do something a little bit different. I do have two long sticks that I'm going to be using for the class, but I also have a mini band, okay? So we are going to use the mini band as a way to add tension or add a little bit of extra challenge to some of the drills that we already do here at Stick Mobility. So we are going to get into two hip drills. We're going to get into one upper body drill. So it's going to be a fun one, okay? So I'm going to take one stick. We're going to start with the warm-ups here. I want to start with the slap shot here, okay? And so what I want to do, I'm going to take a pretty wide stance, again, whatever's most comfortable for you, okay? You can have your toes angled out if you'd like, just don't want them angled out too far, okay? So from here, what I'm going to do, I will have the stick in my mid-back. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to shift my hips back, okay? Keep my knees soft. So going here, you may possibly be getting a hamstring and adductor stretch. That's totally fine here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on creating tension and getting some rotation in. So from here, I'm going to rotate the right end of the stick down in front of me, get it to my center line, and I'm going to pull the stick apart. Breathe. I'm going to ease off that tension. Bring that right side back up. Now I'm going to bring the left side down. Place it in front of my center line, pull apart, 20-30% tension. Again, we're just creating tension here, trying to loosen things up. Ease off, rotate that right end of the stick down, get to that center line, pull the stick apart. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Ease off, then rotate that left end down towards the floor, place it down, pull apart. Should be feeling that upper back get active here, okay? Enforcing a little bit more rotation. Ease off. Good. Now what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to rotate that right end of the stick further across my midline. So I'm going to take the right end of the stick, place it across my midline here, okay? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my right hand off and reach across to my left side to 9 o'clock, and then I'm going to lunge to my right. I want to drive my hips back. Then I want to come back to the left, lunge to the left. So keep my right hand out at 9 o'clock. Then I'm going to come back, lunge to the right. Make sure you're breathing here. Lunge to the left. Good. Back to center. Place that right hand back on the stick. Okay. Come out. Now we're going to do the left side. Place the left end of the stick. Try to get it across the midline if you can. Let go with that left hand. Reach to 3 o'clock. Lunge to the left. Good. Now to the right. Excellent. Lunge to the left. Now to the right. Back to center, and slowly come out. Squeeze your glutes, come back up. We're not done in this position, okay? But what we are going to do is we're going to rotate into it, okay? So, hinge back, okay? And I'm going to rotate the right end of the stick down towards the floor here. Now what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to rotate my left foot out, and I'm going to rotate and pivot my right foot in. I'm going to sink into a stretch here, squeezing that right glute. Left hand is reaching up. Good. I'm going to slowly return my feet back to where they were. Going to come back to center. Now I'm going to switch to the other side. Try to get that stick across the midline here. Okay. Rotate the right foot first. Left foot follows. Squeeze that left glute, drop that knee down towards the floor. Good. Bring both feet back to starting position. Come back out. Let's go do that one more time each side. Rotate that right end down towards the floor. Pivot both feet. Squeeze that right glute. Should be feeling that hip flexor stretch out here, that anterior sling system. Bring both feet back, come out, rotate to the left, same thing, Pivot both feet, squeeze that left glute. Good. Slowly come out. Good. Stand up. Wiggle those feet in. Excellent. Good. Okay. So since we are going to be getting into working on upper body, I'm actually going to go into working on this T-spine a little bit more specifically, then work on the shoulder drills from here. So I'm going to take the stick, I'm going to place it behind my mid-back, but then I'm going to get it in the crooks of my elbows here. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I also want to focus on, again, spinal movement. So I'm going to focus on rotation. All right. So I'll actually turn from the side so you guys can kind of see what it looks like from the side here. So I'm going to take about a little wider in shoulder width stance. Okay. Now I want to sink my hips down a little bit, squeeze my glutes and tuck my pelvis in. Okay. Now from here, I don't want to have my hands on my rib cage. Okay. I actually want to have my hands straight out in front, thumbs up towards the ceiling. What I'm going to do from here, I'm going to drive one hand forward. So keeping the glutes tight, I'm going to drive my right hand forward, rotate my left shoulder back, and then I'm going to come back to neutral, and then I'm going to rotate the opposite way. Now, as I do this, I want to push this right hip forward to keep that hip from opening up. Okay? Come back to neutral, drive that right hand forward, rotate back, push the left hip forward, back to neutral, rotate to the right, drive that left hand forward. Good. One more time each way. Rotate to the left, drive that left hip forward. Good. Back to center, rotate to the right, drive that right hip forward. Good. Back to center. Excellent. Now I'm going to come forward here, or stand forward. I'm going to go with a pretty wide stance. Okay. So we've done it before where we hinge back into the wall. Only difference is we don't have a wall here. Okay. Stick is on the crooks of the elbows here. I want to make sure I hinge. I want to get a good hinge. Now notice the backs of my hands are on the inner upper part of my thigh. So I want to make sure that the hand is able to be secure here because I am going to use that as a way to leverage. So from here, I want to keep my back as neutral as possible, keep a tall spine. I'm going to first rotate to my left. So I'm going to slide my right hand down towards my mid-thigh, and I'm going to drive and leverage and rotate. I'm going to slowly come back. Now I'm going to do the other side. Drive that left hand in, leverage and rotate. Okay, I want to keep my head or my vision or my face facing towards the floor. So I'm going to rotate to the left, leverage off that right hand. Good. Back up nice and slow. Leverage off that left hand. Make sure you control your breathing. One more time each way. Leverage off that right. Excellent. Now leverage off that left. Good. Back to center. Stand up. Excellent. Good. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to go through some dislocates. We're going to tension those dislocates here, okay? So I'm going to take the stick. And so I want to have, now this is going to really depend on your shoulder mobility and what you have access to. So I'm actually going to start out with my hands wider than shoulder width here, okay? We want to make sure we keep those elbows straight, okay? If the elbows are bending, you can always widen out your hands a little bit more to make sure your elbows stay in an extended position. So from here, going to get into that horse stance. Feet are forward, squeezing the glutes. Pelvis is stacked under the spine here, okay? Now what I'm going to do from here, I'm going to pull the stick apart with about 20% tension. Now I'm going to slowly bring the stick up overhead. And I want to make sure that I keep my spine neutral. Hold. Now from here, I'm going to push and shorten the stick. I'm going to slowly come back down. Good. Ease off for a second. So when you're doing this, you should be feeling, when you're pulling apart, you're feeling the upper back, you're feeling those mid traps, and as you actually start to push in at the top, you're going to feel those lower traps kick in. So pull stick apart. Let's go 30% this time. Slowly come up. Glutes tight, spine neutral. Good. Pull stick apart. Feel those anterior delts working. Come down, nice and slow. Ease off. Good. Let's go a few more reps. I'll turn from the side so you can see what the side view looks like. Okay. Pull stick apart. Bring your stick up slowly, 30%. Push the stick in, shorten. Down, nice and slow. Good, ease off. Pull the stick apart. Come up nice and slow. Good. Shorten that stick. Come down nice and slow. Make sure you breathe. Excellent. One more time. Pull the stick apart. Come up. Keep control of the rib cage. Keep control of the pelvis. Shorten the stick. Down nice and slow. And good. Excellent. All right. Ease off. Take a second here. So I'm going to pick up the second stick. Okay. And so now we're going to do, we're going to focus on the pelvis here. Going to get some pelvic movement since we are going to be doing a couple of hip drills here. Okay. So we're going to start with some pelvic tilts. Okay. I'm going to have both sticks in line with the big toe of both of my feet here. Okay. My grip where my hands are going to be roughly about shoulder height. Okay. So from here, squat down a little bit. Again, make sure the pelvis is stacked under the spine. You're up nice and tall, rib cage down. I'm going to drive the sticks down with about 30% tension. Okay. Now I'm going to do a posterior tilt. So I'm going to tuck my pelvis in, squeeze my glutes, drive my knees apart. Okay. Glutes should be active. Now I'm going to tilt anteriorly. So I'm going to tilt the opposite direction. Do an anterior tilt. Make sure you're breathing. Posterior tilt. Squeeze those glutes, abduct those hips, drive those knees away from one another. Anterior tilt. Make sure you breathe. Drive those sticks into the floor. Posterior tilt. Good. Anterior tilt. Excellent. Posterior tilt. Breathe. Anterior tilt. Good. Go to a posterior tilt again. Now we're going to do lateral hip bumps. So I'm going to bump my hips up to the right. Right glute tightens. Okay. I'm going to bump my hips up to the left. Left glute tightens. Right hip drops. Bump the hips to the right. So driving those sticks down. Bump the hips to the left. Good. Bump to the right. Good. Left. One more time. Right. And left. Back to center. Now we're going to go circles. So we're going to start 12, 9, 6, and 3. Okay? So 12, posterior tilt. 9, bump the hips to the left. 6, anterior tilt. And then 3, bump the hips to the right. Back to 12. Good. 9, 6, 3, 12. 2 more. 9, 6, 3, 12. Good. 9, 6, 3, 12. Opposite directions. 3, 6, 9, 12. Excellent. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 more. 3, 6, 9, 12. Last one. 3, 6, 9, 12. Ease off. Excellent. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work on loosening up the hips a little bit more. We're going to work with some internal external rotation here. Okay, so we're just going to do stick taps. We just want to tap each stick. Okay, we're not necessarily generating a lot of force here. Okay, so we're going to start with our feet together. Now I'm going to have the sticks angled in a position to where my right foot is directly in a center line of the sticks here. Okay, so the sticks are a little off to my right. Okay, feet are together, hands are at about shoulder height here. We're going to drive the sticks down to about 30% tension, keep the rib cage down, don't let it flare up. Okay, and you want the sticks angled in towards you. So I'm going to bring my right knee up. Okay, bring it to about hip height. Now what I'm going to start internally, externally rotating. So I'm going to externally rotate here, and then I'm going to internally rotate. Remember, we're just tapping the sticks. So external, internal, external, internal, external, good, internal, external, internal, that's 5, 3 more, external, internal, external, internal, last one, external, internal, back to center, and down, ease off, excellent. Switch over to the other side. So try to get that same alignment. If you want more challenge, you can always bring the sticks out further, or you can bring the sticks in closer if it's a little bit too much. You just want to try to make sure that your hips aren't doing this as you're going through. You don't want your hips dropping in and out here. So same thing, okay? Drive the sticks down, 30%, push. Excellent, bring that left knee up. Okay, start with external rotation, internal, external, internal, external, internal, external, internal, external, internal, external, internal. 2 more, external, internal, external, internal. Back to center and down. Excellent. Let's take a second here. So now we're going to get into using the mini band to do some of our exercises here. Okay. So first thing we're going to start with the upper body drill. So what we're going to do is we're going to use both sticks here. Okay. I'm going to take the mini band. I'm going to put it over the top. So I'm going to work through progressions here so you get a really good idea. Now, I'm going to have the band closer to my hands because that now makes it so it's not too far away from a lever. So it's a very short lever here. Now, I'm going to have my feet roughly about hip to shoulder width apart. Toes going to be pointed forward. The sticks are going to be angled in towards me, but also notice they're going to be angled out. So I want almost like an A shape here, okay? Now what I want to do from here, I want to squeeze my glutes, make sure I'm staying up tall. I want to have my arms straight. So from here, I'm going to push the sticks down with 60% tension. So push, you're going to feel the core tissues turn on. You're going to feel your lats turn on a little bit too here, okay? What I'm going to do from this position, I'm going to pull the sticks apart. So while driving the sticks into the ground 60%, pull sticks apart, arms straight. You're going to feel that upper back, those rear delts working, those lats working. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Slowly bring them back in and ease off. Okay, good. So we're going to do that same thing again. arms straight, okay? Ribs down, drive sticks into the floor 60%. Pull those sticks apart. Hold. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off. Excellent. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that stick up higher. Okay? So my hands are still going to be in the same spot. Now I just increased that lever, okay, from the actual moving point, which is my hands. So same thing, okay? Glutes tight, stay up tall, okay? Drive those, so sticks are angled in towards you. Sorry about that. So drive the sticks down to the floor, 60%. Pull the sticks apart. Notice that it got a lot harder. 3, 2, 1, good. Ease off. Excellent. We're going to go one more time here, okay? Same thing. Arms straight, glutes tight, drive those sticks down, 60%. Pull the sticks apart. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Let's go up a little bit more. Let's make it more of a challenge here. Okay? I'm going to get up towards the top. I'm going to do that same thing. So, hands are still in the same spot. Okay? Sticks angled out. Okay? So now it's going to be a lot harder, right? Because now we're going to get more bow in the stick. So, drive the sticks down, 60%. Squeeze those glutes, stay up tall. Pull the sticks apart. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Excellent. Okay, let's go one more. Doing good. So arms straight. Drive the sticks down, 60%. Push. Make sure those glutes are tight. Pull the stick apart. 3, 2, 1. Slowly ease off and relax. Excellent. Good. So that's one way to do one of the upper body drills here. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the hips. So there's going to be two drills we're going to do. We're going to do a hip abduction. We're also going to do a hip flexion. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with band walks and, or monster walks with bands, right? I am actually going to bring the band again up closer to my hips. So I'm not going to have a long lever here. I want to start off with a shorter lever and then progressively work my way to a longer lever. So we're going to do this in a form of repetitions and stick taps. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have my feet close together, okay, or touching, right? And I want to have the sticks angled in towards me. Now they're about roughly 10 inches from the outside of my midfoot here, okay? So remember, we're going to repetition. So we're going to do 5 at this placement of the band, okay, above the knees. And then we're going to move the band lower, okay? So from here, staying up tall, hands are roughly about shoulder height, arms straight, drive the sticks down, okay? I'm going to start with my left hip. So I'm going to bring my left foot to that left stick, push, back in, excellent. Go again, push, good, back in, go again, push, back in, it's 3, 2 more, push, with the outside of the foot, back in, one more time, push, and back in, excellent. So now we're going to go over to the other side. Okay, try the sticks down, 60%. Bring our right foot to the right stick, push, back in, excellent, push, back in, bring it to the stick, push, back in, it's 3, let's go 2 more, bring it out to the stick, back in, Excellent. Bring it to the stick, push, and back in. Excellent. Now, before we actually move the band lower, we're going to increase the distance of the sticks. So move the sticks out a few inches each way, okay? This is gonna make it harder, more of a challenge, okay? We're only gonna do 3 repetitions here, but we're gonna hold for 5 seconds, okay? Drive both sticks down, ribs down, bring that left foot to the left stick, push. 3, 2, 1, back in. Good. Ease off. So you should be feeling like that external part of your glute, that lateral part of your glute, working pretty darn hard here, okay? Drive the sticks down, 60%. Bring that left foot to the left stick. Push. 3, 2, 1, back in. Ease off. Good. One more time. Drive both sticks down. Bring the left foot to the left stick. Push. 3, 2, 1, back in. Ease off. Good. We're going to switch sides now. Okay? So drive the stick down. Bring the right foot to the right stick. Push. 3, 2, 1, back in. All right, drive sticks down. Bring it to the right stick, push. 3, 2, 1, back in. One last time, okay? Drive sticks down, bring the right foot to the right stick, push. 3, 2, 1, back in. Good. Okay, now we're gonna lengthen the lever, right? So I'm actually gonna bring the band down to my ankles here. And now we're not gonna do a hold here, but instead we are going to tap the stick. So since it's much further away from your hips, the amount of resistance actually increases, or the amount of workload on your hips and glutes. So I'm gonna have my feet roughly about a little more narrow than hip width here. So the sticks are going to be angled to be about roughly a foot from the outside of both of my feet here. Okay? Hands are at about the same placement. Okay? So I'm going to keep my arms straight, shoulders down, drive both sticks into the floor, and I'm going to bring that left foot to the left stick, touch, and bring it right back in. Okay? Keep driving those sticks down 60%. Touch, back in, bring it out, touch, back in. Okay, again, touch, back in, bring it out, touch, back in. Let's go 3 more. Bring it out, touch, back in. 2 more, touch, and last one, touch, and in. Excellent. Ease off. So the good thing about this is we still have to work on the foot that's grounded. So it allows you to kind of work on both hips at the same time. You still have to resist that force. So same thing. Drive both sticks down. Bring the right foot to the right stick. Touch. Back in. Excellent. Keep it controlled. Bring it out. Touch. Back in. Good. Bring out. Touch. Back in. 3. Bring it out. Touch. In. 4. 4 more. Bring it out. Touch. Back in. 5. 3 more. Bring it out. Touch. Back in. 6. Bring it out. Touch. Back in. 7. Last one. Bring it out. Touch. Back in. Excellent. Now we're going to move on to hip flexion, okay? So the band is actually now, you want it to be right under the arch of your foot, right? So what we're looking for here is to challenge the hip flexors, okay? But also, we want to make sure that as we're doing it, we're not compensating by rotating the hip in or out. We want to try our best to keep our knee stacked over our foot directly to the best of our abilities here, okay? So I'm going to have my feet close together, maybe about an inch or two apart. Have the sticks angled in towards me, okay? Now, hands are about shoulder height. So drive the sticks down with about 50 to 60% tension. Push, feel those core tissues turn on, arms straight. I'm going to start with my left hip. I'm going to make sure I keep my right foot grounded, and I want to bring that left hip up. Hold. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Good. You should be feeling your right glute working really hard here, okay? Want to make sure we keep that right leg straight. So, arms straight, shoulders down, drive the stick into the floor, bring that left hip up. To keep that ankle dorsiflexed. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Excellent. Let's try to go for 3 more reps. Arms straight, shoulders down, push the sticks into the floor, 50, 60%. Bring that left hip up. 3, 2, 1, back up. Back down, sorry. Ease off. Okay, 2 more. Drive the sticks down. Bring that left hip up. 3, 2, 1, down. Okay, good. One more time. Okay. Drive sticks down. Bring that left hip up. 3, 2, 1. Back down. Ease off. Take a second here. So, there's a way to add tension and focusing on splitting the hips. Notice I'm not actually really even getting all that high, but it's because we're adding that accommodating resistance. That resistance increases as we get higher. So, arms straight, shoulders down, drop both sticks into the floor, bring that right hip up. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Good. This is also a really good way to reinforce proper techniques. So, drive sticks down, bring that right hip up. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Good, doing good. All right, drop both sticks down. Bring the right hip up. Keep that left leg straight. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. We got 2 more. Drive the sticks down. Bring that right hip up. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Last one. Arms straight, shoulders down. Good. Bring that right hip up. 3, 2, 1, back down. Ease off. Awesome. Let's take a second here. Catch a little bit of a breather. So, there's a really good way to add in the mini bands to some of the drills that we already actually do. So it's just, not only is it increasing the challenge and the tension, but it's increasing that lever sometimes, right? But keep the band closer to the part that's moving, shorten that lever. So as we move it further in the distance, lengthens that lever, makes it significantly harder. So now we're gonna do here, we're gonna focus on opening up the T-spine here, okay? So I'll turn from the side. So I'm gonna have a shoulder width stance. Feet are gonna be pointed forward. I'm gonna have my hands actually at roughly about face level here, okay? Now as I'm doing this, I'm driving hips back, but my hands are coming out in a Ys. They're not coming out straight in front, okay? So from here, six are angling towards my toes, about a few inches in front of the line of my feet, okay? From here, I'm gonna drive my hips back, reach my hands out Try to lengthen that spine. Breathe. Now you're going to feel the chest get a little bit of a stretch here. Good. Come back up nice and slow. Squeeze those glutes. Excellent. We're going to do that again. This time we're going to actually move the sticks. Okay? So I'll actually face forward for this. Okay. Same thing. Let's go ahead and wiggle our hands down a little lower. So drive the hips back. Reach out. Keep a tall spine. Now I'm going to slowly bring my hands down to my side. Or back to my side. Once I get it to where my shoulders are, I want to kind of lightly drive myself down deeper into that stretch. Going to get more of a chest stretch. Open up some of those tissues. Make sure you're breathing. Okay? I'm going to bring my hands down towards my hips now. And I want to keep bringing myself lower to the floor like I'm trying to get a hang here. So now we get into that shoulder extension. Open up those pec tissues a little bit more. Now I'm going to slowly bring the hands back out to the sides. Focus on that breathing. Focus on that stretch. Good. Bring my hands back to that Y position. Excellent. Slowly come back up. Perfect. So now we're going to get into the snake and reach. Okay? We're going to spend a little bit of time here. So if you have a pad or something for you to kneel on, this would be the perfect time to grab it. I'm going to start with my right leg down. Okay? Left leg is going to be forward. So my back foot, I want to keep that ankle plantar flex. So I'm keeping the top of my foot into the floor here. Turn aside like so. Okay? So left leg, I'm going to scooch out because I want to make sure I have a wide angle to place a stick. Right hand comes up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. I want to make sure that my hand clears my head here. Okay? So I'm going to snake my left shoulder through. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to do from here, I'm going to slowly walk my right hand up, and I'm going to place my grip around the stick. Okay. Now from here, what I want to do, I'm actually going to shift towards that front leg and sink into it. Then come back. Shift towards that front leg. Sink into it. And come back. Now I'm going to move the bottom of the stick further across my midline, and I'm going to wiggle my foot in, okay? And I'm going to rotate my torso forward. As I do that, I get more of a stretch in the pec. Now I'm going to rotate my torso back. So I'll ease off some of that stretch. Rotate my torso forward and to my left. Get an increased stretch. Rotate back. Let's go one more time. Rotate my torso to the left. Rotate back. Good. I'm going to walk my hand back down. Good. I'm going to ease out nice and slow. Now I'm going to switch sides. Okay. So we're going to do that same thing. Sticks on the inside of that right leg here. Left hand is up. Thumb facing the floor. Okay. Snake that right shoulder through. You want to get the stick under the shoulder blade. Okay. So walk that left hand up. Okay. Once you get to that position, shift into that right leg. Good. Come out. Shift into it one more time. Good. Now bring the stick across to the midline. Wiggle that right foot in. Okay. Same thing. Turn your torso forward. Get that stretch in the chest. Rotate back. Good. Rotate forward and to the right. Good. Rotate back. One more time. Rotate to the right. Good. Rotate back. Walk that left hand down. Slowly come out. Excellent. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to finish off with a little bit of kayaking here, okay? So I'm going to take the stick across the lower part of my chest, basically like right on my upper abdomen. Reach my hands out as far as I can go, okay? Whatever is most comfortable for you. I'm going to take a horse stance, okay? I'm going to go wider than shoulder width. Toes are going to be pointed forward. You can have them slightly angled out if you want to. So I'm going to squat down, squeeze my glutes, okay? Lock that pelvis in position. Start my right hand up, okay? And I'm going to start to kayak. So I'm going to drive that right hand through. Left shoulder comes up and over. Now I drive that left hand through. Right shoulder comes up and over, okay? So your speed should be matching mine. Make sure you breathe. You don't want any spinal rotation here. You just want all that movement to come from the shoulder blades. But as we go along here, we'll start adding in spinal rotation. Good. Now we're going to start to rotate. So as the right hand comes up and over, I'm going to rotate to my left. Left hand comes up and over, rotate to my right. Good. Breathe. Excellent. 3, 2, 1, and good. Done. Awesome. I hope everybody had a good class. Again, wanted to add in something a little bit different for the class here. Using a mini band, I hope that was useful and it makes the workout a little bit more challenging, also a little bit more fun for you guys. And I'll be sure to catch y'all on the next one. Have a good day.